Good morning, guys. What's going on? Chad Kuntz here, and let's get this party started. So first off, thank you for those who hopped in. I'm actually playing around with a different kind of cam here called Ecamm Live, and I think it's going to allow me to do some really cool stuff, including show videos, show anatomy, apps, all kinds of stuff. So I'm kind of playing with that, so hang with me a little bit. But thank you so much for all the good questions and comments, and it's really going to give me a really good idea of kind of what you guys need to really succeed in your health and fitness journeys. So I'm going to just cover one topic today. I've actually put some of the details in the description so you could kind of even feel free to follow along. And there's a lot of really good content here. So we're going to just get started talking about combating surgery and spine issues as we get older. That actually popped up in quite a few of you, and the barriers and things that actually kind of held you back. And it makes sense. Back surgeries, spine problems, it's incredibly common as we get older. So what can we really do to kind of combat it, specifically hitting 40 and above? Although somewhat redundant and obvious, just staying as active as you can no matter what, and being mindful as to what your spine best responds to. Not every spine responds the best to walking. Your doctors and everywhere you go, it pretty much sounds like, yeah, walking's the best for me. Walking's good for you. Go walk a mile a day. The reality is not every spine actually tolerates walking that well. In fact, one of the common ailments that as you get older in the spine is stenosis, spinal stenosis. And I'm going to actually play around with my little app here to kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. So spinal stenosis just means that you can kind of see here the intervertebral foramen, that you eventually get some additional osteophytes. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put a couple. You can kind of see there that I've put some bone spurs right in there, right? Those bone spurs occur pretty naturally, and that can actually cause a lot of trouble and difficulty for your nerves, which I'll go ahead and bring up right now, to get through. So if you're one who feels better when you're sitting versus when you're standing, you might be better off just with the bike instead of walking, okay? You might be better off not walking as much, but kind of doing an aerobic exercise like bicycling, because that's going to be better for your spine. In addition to, combating surgery and spine issues, is just maintaining a regular fitness routine. I tend to find, at least starting out, just to try to get some confidence, a home workout and or a customized workout routine for you and your body is going to be best. I tend to find not every personal trainer is able to quite craft the level of exercise quality that you need depending on the severity of your spine, so that's just something to consider as well. There's more information out there than ever, but it doesn't mean that exercise program is right for you. So I'd say finding a form of regular fitness routine, could be even at home just to kind of get started, or even doing a customized workout routine would be incredibly helpful. Osteoarthritis is actually something else that pops up. Osteoarthritis can be quite common, particularly in our 50s and 60s as we get older. It tends to be really common around the knees and the hips, and that can really slow us down. So what I would say is trying to encourage more heat, more warmth, and prolonging kind of your warm-up if you're having and dealing with osteoarthritis as you get older. Because again, osteoarthritis can really kind of slow us down. So incorporate a much longer warm-up time. Find something that's a little bit more gentle. Try to get the blood flowing without doing what I call weight-bearing activities. So if you have to kind of do it on the table or on a bench or heck, even on your bed, trying to do some warm-ups on the bed rather than standing like squats or lunges might be a little bit easier on your hips or your knees if you're dealing with osteoarthritis, if it's kind of holding you back. Another person had inquired about trying to find the correct postures that they need during exercises, and I think that makes a lot of sense. What I'm going to do here is kind of give a shout out to, let's see if I can do it. I did it. Awesome. This thing's pretty awesome, actually. We actually have a workshop coming up. I'm not sure if you can make it. For those of you that are around here, we are actually in the Anytime Fitness in Pineville. And I'm saying this because trying to find your posture is incredibly important. Your correct spinal position is incredibly important to maintaining. Let me go back here. There we go. To maintaining the quality of health in your spine. So we're going to really kind of go over what neutral spine is, what your neutral spine is, what your best position is. There's really a difference between core and strength and stability that Dr. Pirro, our physical therapist, will be kind of going over. He's going to kind of go over why hip and thoracic mobility is so important, and really how to use your shoulders, hips, and core to stabilize your spine. So honestly, that's going to be something we're going to be kind of going over with. I'm going to be kind of helping out. So I'd love for you guys to be able to make that if you could. That kind of ties right into finding your correct posture during exercise, because everyone's got to find their happy kind of spinal position. Every one of you might be a little bit different. So finding your correct posture and then taking that dynamic to do that when exercising is incredibly important. So that might be a great opportunity for you too. I'm happy to expand upon that later, and I'm happy to put a link down below if you'd like to RSVP. It's totally free. Furthermore, to combat surgery and spine issues as we get older, I wanted to kind of bring up a funny topic. So I'm sure you guys have heard of degenerative disc disease. So just to kind of clarify here. So degenerative disc disease, let's go back to our spine model, and let's go ahead and bring up the disc. All right, so our disc kind of sits, right inside here. And as you get older, guys, it's incredibly common. In fact, it's almost universal, which means everyone has a form of disc degeneration by the time we're 70 or 80. It's incredibly common to the fact that it's actually related to wrinkles. And let me tell you this. So instead of calling it wrinkles, we would call it degenerative base disease. That's kind of the running joke in terms of how similar wrinkles are to having a degenerative disc. It's just a natural part of aging. Okay, it's just a natural part of aging. Yet they put this nasty twist on it like it's degenerative. It sounds horrible. But if you thought of wrinkles as degenerative face disease, would that kind of make sense, kind of make you chuckle a little bit, like they're just wrinkles? Degenerative disc disease is kind of like wrinkles for our spine. It's going to occur. So I'd strongly encourage, especially anyone considering surgery, to avoid surgery if it's solely due to the fact that they're having pain but it looks like they have degenerative disc disease. There are other pathoanatomical diagnosis and MRI findings that we'd want to have to really take that next step. So kind of keep that in mind. So I'm really excited because there's also a lot of nutrition questions. How can nutrition help offset aging? That is a huge topic and well beyond my pay grade. I'm a sports nutritionist. I've got a decent background in supplementation, and I understand the general gist of macronutrient breakdowns, but that's way beyond my scope. So I would love to bring on a dietitian next. I'd like to kind of plan that out. And I'd like you to kind of feel free to comment below what specific questions you would like to have ready for our dietitian so that I could ask her that. And I'm going to share it with this group so that you guys could kind of get the information you need. So that kind of brings me along the lines of, if you know anyone else that would benefit from this, we really want to build strength in numbers. So for those who are 40 and older, maybe they're in the Ballantyne region, Southern Charlotte, Fort Mill, Pineville, really anywhere in that region that would like to kind of get on this, and maybe that they'd like to even kind of get in by the time we have that dietitian, we're interviewing them. Feel free to share it with a friend. Feel free to tag someone. I'd love to kind of build strength in numbers with that too. So I'm kind of excited to bring that on. So let's get this party started. So we're off and running. Really our first Facebook Live interview. I look to continue to provide as much value as possible. I know that this was a little bit more in my lane, so I wanted to touch on that. There were some really other great questions pertaining really the ability to kind of keep the mind fresh, and how does that help offset aging. There's a lot of cool ideas you guys had, so I look forward to that too. So I hope this was helpful. Feel free to comment below if you have any other questions, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys.